Well, stamp my renewal. Your Majesty, how splendid to have you back at the Academy. From the moment we first met, I knew you were someone who understood the value of knowledge, of learning. It's one of the things that sets you apart from your brother. As you know, King Logan closed the Academy and cut all our funding. I don't know whether he considered education a waste of time or a threat to his power. Your father believed the Academy should archive information and make it available to all, and I share that belief. We have many books here, yet many more languish in obscurity. If they're not found, their wisdom will be lost forever. The Academy needs a hero as much as the people of Albion do. Will you help us to retrieve these rare tomes?
This place is very dangerous. Let's find somewhere safe.
Oh, thank the gods of documentation. The Academy will continue to grow just as your father envisioned. Whenever you find a book in your travels, bring it to my desk, and I will give it a good home. I know of several that exist and have already prepared displays for them. All you have to do is to place them accordingly.
Your Majesty, I'm so chuffed with your rule. I've got a present for you.
Another tome for our collection. I shall enjoy reading it myself later. Oh, which one is that? I can't wait to have a read. So heartwarming to see those books coming in. I really cannot thank you enough.
My lady. It's staring at me. Look at its eyes.
You are doing such a fine job finding books that perhaps you will agree to a special request? I've discovered the location of an inordinately rare volume I would dearly like to get my hands on. It's called The Book of Mysteries, and was written by the hermit Ignatius Boatload, said to be the holiest man ever. Unfortunately, he was martyred by ignorant mercenaries in his lonely cave many years ago. Will you retrieve his book for us?
Oh, thanks.
Excellent. His cave was in Miss Peak. The book is probably still there. Those mercenaries would have had no use for it, except perhaps to wipe some of the old hermit's blood off their swords. I just love it when you bring us a book. It
more fluff. Don't worry.
Extracts from the Diary of a Hermit. Day 1. I have taken leave of the world. All my life I have spoken with my fellow man about truth and meaning, and I have found neither. From this day forth, no more talk. Enlightenment must be earnestly sought, not idly discussed. Anything else is a meaningless distraction. Day 52. Long have I sat in this cave, eating only of the leaves of the golden flower, and meditating upon the divine. Soon I will become at one with the universe. I can feel it. Day 182. Solitude is the great purifier. Perhaps solitude itself is divine. Through its purity, I let go of my earthly self, and in doing so become one with all. Day 313. As I was meditating in divine silence, really close to becoming one with all, Myra from the village came in to check on me. I told her I was fine, and she left. And now I'm mainly thinking about becoming one with her.
Always a joy to get a book. Thank you. The Book of Mysteries. Most interesting. I wonder if those who read it will find enlightenment. If not, poor Ignatius died for nothing. Have you read it by any chance? Well, don't tell me how it ends. I look forward to unlocking the mysteries of that book. Of mysteries. You've found over a third of all the books we need. Amazing! There are other unusually rare books the Academy would be the richer for. In fact, there's one particular book I've been trying to get my hands on for years, but the owner just wouldn't give it up. The bitter old so-and-so wouldn't even lend it to me. Anyway, it turns out he is, he's passed on. Bless his soul. Most convenient, really. Would you be so good as to get it for me? It's in his house in the Bowerstone Old Quarter. He won't miss it. What with being dead and all. It's called The Invocation of the Watchers, by the way. Ancient tome. Demonology and that. All balderdash, of course, but fascinating nonetheless. Excellent! Good for you! You are a most courageous book hunter. Well, not that there's any call for courage. Probably. As I said, the Invocation of the Watchers is in a house in the Bowerstone Old Quarter. I'm sure you'll find it with consummate ease.
My lady.
I conjure thee, O thou mighty and potent Prince of Darkness, Almadiel, who wanders in the ether. I conjure thee forthwith to appear here with thy attendants, in this the witching hour of night. Stand before me in this circle, herein inscribed. Come forth in a fair and comely shape, to do my will in all things that I shall desire of you. Do not appear as the shadow, I abjure thee. Here be the seal of Almadiel, by which I command you!
By the decimal-based system of subject classification, ha! You have the invocation of the Watchers. Did it, were there... well, never mind. You're here and you brought the book. That's the important thing. You really are an amazing book collector. Which actually, when I say it out loud, doesn't sound that impressive, but still, I meant it sincerely. Capital work, my friend. You have brought us over half the books we need. I've managed to uncover the location of another out-of-the-ordinary volume I hope you'll be able to retrieve for the Academy. I think you will find this one quite appealing, if I do say so myself. It's sort of a chronicle of your father, though instead of focusing on him, it focuses on his companions. A fascinating approach, really. Very few people know much about those other heroes. They were mostly of the unsung variety. The author is dead, and apparently the book was buried with her. Imagine treating such an invaluable historical record that way. It's an affront to common decency. I'm afraid you'll have to dig up her grave. But what is life without a little exhumation? Really? You will? Oh, fantastic! I've never been so elated to have someone desecrate a grave. Not that it has come up on very many occasions, I grant you.
Teresa had said, "Take my hand." Hammer had done as she was told, and at the touch of the warm flesh, she felt a surge within her, a feeling at first that she couldn't identify. It was scary, but it was arousing too. She had had thoughts of women before, but never acted on them. Now it was all she could think about. It made her excited as she had been the night she secretly spied on Garth and Reva. They were so forceful with each other, and yet so tenderly yielding. The memory of that night brought a sickeningly delicious pit to her stomach. Her pulse quickened. She let her robe slip from her shoulders and stepped into the warm bath, thinking of the two men. She began to recreate that night in her mind. Next chapter, Dark Wizard, Passionate Rogue.
You got it! Fantastic! I can't wait to read it. Apparently, the author, Miss Ilona Pureheart, wrote extensively about the adventures of the four heroes. I've heard rumours of an even rarer work of hers involving Lucian and Jack of Blades, which is odd, as I thought Jack was defeated centuries before Lucian was even born. Curious. Splendid work! Our library is almost completely replenished. And I have some rather exciting news. I found the location of a book I've been itching to get my hands on for years. It's Reva's autobiography. He wrote it some time ago and it sold out instantly. The rumour is that Reva bought up all the copies. It created a huge demand, and so the publisher did a second run, and the price went up. Then Reva went to work for King Logan and reinvented himself as a respectable businessman. The books became a liability, and every copy was located and destroyed. But that first run is still out there, buried for eternity. Unless you are so kind as to locate a copy for me. The book's called Reva on Reva. Not a pleasant image. Wonderful. I am so pleased. There is one slight hitch. The information I've received indicates it's bedded in Aurora, out in the deserts that surround the city. Did I not mention that before? Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, it'll be a nice trip. It's warm, and I hear the sunsets are simply magnificent. And you'll have plenty to read when you get there.
How can I be of service?
Think of it as a kind of holiday, a literary adventure, a thrilling expedition. Well, I'm sure it will be interesting one way or another.
I'm at your command. Nothing to report, Your Majesty.
My queen?
At your service, my queen. Greetings, madam.
Reaver on Reaver, an autobiography. Prologue. Dear devotees, you hold in your hands a slice of history, an unadulterated and adulterated account of one of the longest, fullest, and most scandalous lives ever lived. Mine. For the intellectually challenged amongst you, and I can say with some certitude that such a definition includes most of you, my dear, dear readers, I present here a brief, abridged extract from one of my least demanding chapters. I do hope you can keep up. Who knows? Perhaps your dim little minds will be encouraged to consume the entire volume. Not that I care a jot. I have your money already. And should you have shoplifted a copy, or, far worse, borrowed one from those appalling institutions known as libraries, be warned that I will find you and perform many of the acts described in Chapter 12 upon your person. Now, read on, my loves. Chapter 17. The senile old hag was as good as her word, and I found myself magically transported to the land of Samarkand, thousands of miles from the bloody spire. There, my good fortune ended, however, as I soon found that insufferable bore Garth materializing beside me. This so-called scholar turned out to have little to teach me about his homeland, little of interest at least. I had come seeking hot nights, exotic substances, and uninhibited people, and found an excess of the first, a miserly amount of the second, and a definite shortage of the third. Still, my stay was not without its highlights. One particular evening springs to mind, my last one. I'd followed my humorless, pedantic companion into what I can only describe as the worst tavern ever to deserve such a moniker. Its pitiful cordials and feeble spirits did nothing to improve my mood, and the air was so thick with stodgy conversation one grew constipated merely by listening. It was then that I had the brilliant notion that would simultaneously catapult me out of that humdrum country and put an end to Garth's miserable existence, as well as diverting me for several minutes. I stood up in front of the sober crowd and, well, my darlings, there the extract ends. You will have to read the rest of the book to find out what happened. Cliffhangers are such a cheap authorial trick, I know, but one that is not beyond me, as you shall see when you reach the end of chapters 2, 6, 7, and 22. Now, run ahead, you little scamps. Plunge your clammy, thirsty fingers into the pages before you. I hope you enjoy reading their contents as much as I enjoyed living them.
Reva's autobiography. Oh, marvellous! I shall enjoy reading that tonight with a glass of milk and a digestive. No doubt it'll be full of salacious ribaldry. Ooh, I can't wait. Oh, and good work, by the way. I hope it wasn't too dangerous or anything like that. You've managed to get every book ever. Well, I exaggerate, of course. There is one more book. One more special book before we can call our collection complete. And it's here. Ah, can you believe it? In the reliquary beneath this very academy. It was locked away a long time ago, and for a good reason. It's called the Book of Doom. It sounds bad, I know, but don't worry. As long as you don't read it, you should be fine. Assuming you survive the inevitable attacks by whatever awful creature happens to be guarding it. I knew you'd come through for me. Now remember, just don't read it when you find it. To think, the blessed thing's been beneath us the whole time. It needed but a hero to retrieve it. You will find it behind a locked door in the reliquary. Good luck.
Oh, we've got more in the back, so just let me know if you want to see more.
If you read this book, you are doomed. Don't read another line. Not another word, all right? You're still reading, aren't you? What part of don't read another line do you not understand? Well, it's too late now. You've read it. You're doomed. You never should have read this. And I probably shouldn't have written it, actually.
You're magnificent and
Steady
glorious
now.
and sublime.
You found it! I can't believe it! The Book of Doom! Oh, you didn't read it, did you? tell me you didn't read it. Well, it doesn't seem to have done you any harm. Anyway, the important thing is that you reclaimed every book we needed. You are truly amazing. You have performed an incredible service for the Academy, for Brightwall, and for the world. The literate world, anyway.
Greetings, your
At your orders,
majesty.
at your service, my queen.
At your service.
Greetings, Mom. Majesty.
Ah, it's the great ruler.
Salutations, my most gracious. My queen? Long live the queen!
Oh my!
By thunder,
Hail and
it's
well-
the Queen
Your
herself.
Majesty. So good to see you.
Go on, take it. You've been
Hi.
gone far too long.
I'm-
I missed
I'm
you,
your
honey.
daughter.
Hey.
I was a warrior princess yesterday. I beat all the boys.
Come here. Yeah. Enjoy that.
Oh no, don't. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that's good. Mummy, I need you to do something for me. It's only little. I need a present, Mum, to cheer me up. Great! I can't wait. You got it! Yippee! Yay! Thank you so much! Maybe I can earn some gold when I'm old enough.
Things would be more comfortable round here if we'd more gold to go around.
Nice doggy. Good doggy.
My queen.
Yes, ma'am. My lady?
Well met, my
Greetings, madam.